Hello, everyone. We are really fortunate today. We've got Carter Malloy with us. He's the founder and CEO of AcreTrader. This is a company that's making it easy for people to invest in farmland. This is really a fascinating new business. They're using some crowdfunding techniques. Stick around. You don't want to miss this episode.
Welcome to the Your Mark on the World show with your champion of social good, Devin D. Thorpe.
This episode is made possible via the support of our sponsors, including Johnson & Johnson's Caring Crowd. Carter, we're glad to have you here.
Thanks. Glad to be here.
So, Carter, tell us a little bit about AcreTrader.
Sure. So AcreTrader is a farmland investing platform. We've built using crowdfunding, the same legislative and regulatory mechanisms as many of the crowdfunding platforms. We've built a lot of software end to end really to manage the offering and sale process and importantly management process of watching after farms.
Excellent. So are most of the offerings now done under Regulation D506C? Is that your bread and butter?
That's correct. We're working on a few other offerings that would play in other spaces, but right now our primary product is 506C. Exactly.
And it sounds like you're either going to add Reg A Plus or Reg CF offerings later this year. Is that the goal?
That is the goal. Reg A Plus Tier 2 is the other alternative we're exploring.
Okay. So that'll open up the investments to ordinary retail investors, not just to accredited investors.
That's right.
Yeah, that'll be great. So you must also be doing larger deals. Even though you take investments $1,000 at a time, you must be doing millions of dollars at a shot, is the implication I'm taking from that.
Yeah, I think our standard tracks are somewhere around $200,000 to $2 million.
Okay, so some of them are small enough that you could do them under Reg CF.
That's correct. However, Reg CF comes with a little bit of a wrapper that makes the platform agnostic towards the offerings, right? And so they see it as if we are actively guarding and blocking and keeping certain things off of the site, that we're collecting security for the investors. And that is something we want to do. We don't want to be in the security selection business, but we do want to block overpriced land or bad land, as we want to make sure our investors are getting good deals. Yeah. Interesting. The unintended consequences of some of the regulatory hurdles. So is AcreTrader a broker-dealer? We are not. We work with North Capital, which is crossed upwards of 40,000 transactions. So they handle our accreditation documentation as well as our escrow process.
Excellent. So Carter, tell us a little bit about the properties that are available on the platform for investment typically.
Sure. So we typically focus in the Delta region, so the Mississippi Delta, as well as the Midwest. So high quality, high yielding row crop farms are typically what we work on today. In the future, we will definitely expand our geographic focus. Right now, myself and our farm sourcing team, that's where that's the dirt that we know best. And so we want to make sure to stick to that for now.
So where are you based?
I'm based in Fayetteville, Arkansas. So born in a farming community here, raised in Arkansas. Spent the last 5 years in San Francisco, actually, and then just moved home here about a year ago.
Excellent. And how are things going so far?
Very well. We're having a lot of early successes. We've seen a lot of really exciting offerings on the platform. So I think what's been fascinating in our corner of the world here of crowdfunding is most marketplaces are supply constrained. In the case of commercial real estate, especially, there's a fight over the good assets, right? And so there's a lot of bids, and so a lot of things get priced fully or even overpriced or become more speculative than they should be. In our case, Garrett, our primary farm acquisition manager and farm operations manager, looked at upwards of I don't know, 100 farms in the last month and a half, and I think we've listed one or two of those on the website.
Excellent, excellent.
Oh.
Carter, as you look at farms, why is the supply greater? Why are we not overpaying for farms the same way that investors are now sometimes overpaying for commercial real estate?
Yeah, I think a lot of that is there's just a lack of liquidity in the market. So if the farm is not sold to the neighboring farm owner, or a neighboring farmer or someone in the area, then sometimes a really great piece of farmland can sit on the market for a really long time. And so that's a really important component of our business, is that we're able to work with these farmers and help them realize good value for their land. Most of the time as well with that neighboring farmer, about 75% of the time, if another farmer buys the land, he will kick the tenant off and farm it himself. So you have the case where farmer A wants to sell a little bit of land, maybe needs to free up some capital. Farmer B buys it and kicks him off and starts farming it. Farmer A may not want to stop farming. And so we provide an alternative mechanism for that farmer to continue working his land and or actually expand his operations if he wants to buy the neighboring piece of land where that person may have retired or something.
So what are the typical motivations for selling a chunk of your farm to AcreTrader?
Sure. There's a lot of reasons to sell. Typically, they're purely financial, right? The farmer wants to raise some capital. The farmer may have had a bad year. The farmer may think that it's a good time to sell his farm. You may just want to lighten up in that area, may want to invest some in stocks. Sometimes, a lot of times, actually, what we see is farmland's inherited, and so it's in the second or the third generation, and that generation has decided we're no longer going to farm, and so they want to sell the farm, and we think we can be good stewards of that land and bring on a new farmer to take good care of it. So.
And who does usually farm the land after you buy it?
Sure, it's a wide gamut, but we always work with experienced farmers. We really prefer multi-generational farmers where there's a relatively young, hungry farmer in the family. So typically farmers they're aging out, right? The average farmer is over 55, and many of those are in their 70s. And so, but there's this new generation of really smart, tech-enabled, forward-thinking, sustainability focused farmers out there, and they're looking to expand operations. As are most business people, and farmers are hard-working business people. They want to grow their business, and so we're really happy to help them where we can.
As you think about this important work that you're doing, I mean, it does play an interesting and important role in the capital markets, especially around farmland. What do you see as being the social benefit of the work that you're doing?
Sure. So I think there are social benefits on both. We're a two-sided marketplace, right? There is a very real, tangible benefit to the investors in that they own one of the oldest asset classes in existence, and one that performs very well, right? It's historically had low volatility, great returns without really using any debt. And so it's just a great inflation hedge. It's a great, a lot of people own gold, and we ask the question all the time, why on earth would you own gold if you could own farmland? The historical reason was you couldn't own farmland unless you had $1 million and you knew some farmers and lived out in farm country. And so we're really excited to answer that problem for the market and bring this asset class to the mainstream. On the other side of the network, the farm side of the network, right? We provide new and attractive options, financial options for the farm seller. We also offer the farmers, like I was speaking to, some of these farmers, the ability to expand their operations. We provide them access to capital if they need to fix an operation. So about 40% of U.S. farmland, and we're talking about a multi-trillion-dollar asset class. It's truly large. Think about the last time you were in an airplane looking out the windows. There's a lot of it out there. About 40% of that is absentee owned, which means that the person that owns it is not the farmer. The farmer rents it from that person. So what we're doing in terms of relationship with the farmers is nothing new. What is new is our software, our technology enablement, our assistance with the farmer, working with them, and national presence and expertise. all of which we bring to a farmer and help them with their operations. I was starting a moment ago about capital improvements. I'll give you an example. A widow owns a farm, or a widower owns a farm that's been passed, from their previous husband or wife, or been passed down a generation, and the farmer finds himself in the middle of the summer. A well has gone bad, and he tries to call them and get them on the phone, and they don't even answer the phone. And if they do, they may not be able to fix that well. The farmer may not have the money, and you can talk. It can be a really serious financial impact to that farmer. We're here every day. This is all we do every day, is think about farmland, and we're a partner with those farmers, so we're quick to respond to them, work with them. In addition, we offer them independent valuation and information and expertise around that farmland. So we do all that, as well as we've just worked with Garrett on our farm operations team. Previously helped manage a $150 million piece of farmland. He has looked at every piece of software, every piece of tractor equipment. We know the tools of the trade very well, and these farmers are being sold tons of stuff. And so we find ourselves a lot of times giving the farmers what I would call respectful expertise, not advice. The farmer, they know their dirt better than we ever could. So we never fancy ourselves as smarter than they are on the local level. We do know the software companies well, right? And they say, hey, well, this joker came in and offered me this really cool looking software. What do you guys think? And we go, actually, they didn't close their A round of funding. We've heard a lot of problems there. Maybe you should check out this other software over here. It's a live example of a conversation. And so that sort of respectful expertise, and again, valuation, we help them understand their asset, help them understand their land. And we do all those things for free, right? A lot, in terms of those initial conversations and working with farmers, we think that goodwill, that wanting to help them out over time helps us build a bigger business.
So Carter, what are you most proud of having accomplished?
So far, I think I'm most proud of the team we have here. So there's 11 of us. We're a relatively young company, but we've just got incredible people. Everyone works hard, and we don't have a ping pong table or anything like that. It's a very fun but serious work environment, but they're good people, and we enjoy what we do. We enjoy working together. We joke in the office a lot and have a lot of have just a really good time working together. So I think that's top of the list.
Excellent. What's the most important lesson you've learned?
Gosh, I got scars all over me. Let me think that one through for a moment. I think the most important. I've got a lot of them, and they're all just flooding my head right now. One of them is software, right? So we're a technology-centric business. About half of our staff are computer science technologists, data scientists, and making sure you get it right on the first cut is incredibly important. And so we've been, I think, overly cautious. We've spent too much time and too much money on our software to make sure that every corner and every edge case works. And so we're now very proud of what we have. I think the building process took us longer, and took more effort than initially expected.
Interesting. Why farmland? What intrigued you about this? Was this just an opportunity to get back home?
That's a great part. That's a great benefit. I'm a redneck dyed in the wool, so I'm happy to be here. I grew up, my dad's a second generation farmer, making me third. I don't drive tractors or anything, but I grew up around farmland. I love land. It's something, there's just something inside of all of us. And I think everyone feels it when you get out of the city and you go out and you spend some time in the country. It's a nice place to be. And I've spent my career, or at least the last 12 years of my career, in the investment management business. And so investing, helping people invest or direct investing in companies. And worked myself ragged doing it. Absolutely loved investing. I've always had a passion for it. And over the last 5 or 10 years, I've started buying and selling farmland with my dad, and I was having a really good time at it, and was going, wow, we're like, cranking out incredible returns with this. This is really, really fascinating. And then got to sort of stepping back for a moment, realizing I have this, I have a very unique ability. Not that me personally have a unique ability. Most people don't have that don't have someone they know to go out and invest in farmland. So, I had a neighbor in San Francisco who's like, man, I'd really love to put some real money to work in farmland, but I got to go to a county I've never heard of and meet with a broker I've never met and, plop down $500,000 or $1 million, and now I'm running a farm. And most people, would be crazy to think that's a good idea. Some do, and they're great at it. So more power to them. But we thought, wow, if we can, package all of that for as low a fee as possible, then we can build something really big.
Excellent. Great insights. Great insights. I appreciate you sharing that. So Carter, what is your superpower?
I don't, Microsoft Excel, maybe. I'm not really great at many things. I'm a, jack of all trades and master of none. So, it's not a superpower. I really like people. I think that's really important in building a business, and is enjoying the people you work with and building a culture and a team that you can be around, and most importantly, that they can be around each other on a daily basis. We spend more time with each other than we do our spouses. And so it's really important that we get along and we have fun.
Yeah, interesting. Powerful insight. Well, Carter, thank you so much for taking the time to be with us. We really appreciate your insights and are excited that you take the time to share with us. Before you go, would you take just a minute and tell people how they can learn more about AcreTrader and how they can connect with you personally?
Absolutely. So to learn more about AcreTrader, AcreTrader.com, A-C-R-E Trader. So like Auto Trader, but Acre. On that site, there's a great section on how it works. There's also a great For Investors page that walks you through the historical returns of the asset and shows you just how well it's outperformed just about anything out there, and done so with much lower volatility, up and down every year. So that's really, at the core of why we're so excited. So AcreTrader.com is the website to check out. You can always reach me directly, Carter at AcreTrader. So I'm always here to answer questions and love doing so.
Fantastic. Well, again, Carter, we really appreciate you taking the time to be with us today, and we wish you every success in helping to make the market for farmland more efficient.
Thank you, Devin. Appreciate your time.
All righty. Let's do some good.
Bye-bye.
At Caring Crowd, we believe everyone has the power to make a difference. Through our crowdfunding platform for community health, we empower passionate people to drive real change. Whether you work for a nonprofit organization, volunteer, or want to get involved for the first time, you can post a campaign on Caring Crowd. Join us, because caring is where change begins.
Thank you for listening. Devin Thorpe's mission is to end extreme poverty, improve global health, and mitigate climate change before 2045 by finding and sharing the stories of those who are doing the most good. You can join with other listeners to accelerate Devin's mission by visiting helpdevin.org right now.